Today we'll talk about the controversy surrounding Metal Gear Solid 4 endgame reviews with game journalist Stephen Totillo.
Plus, we'll review the new and improved Mass Effect for the PC and count down the 5 RPGs you need to own. X-Play starts right now.
Hello and welcome to X-Play. Damn the hater!
Yeah!
I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Monday, June 2nd.
Now later in the show, we've got a brand new cheat for the just-released Age of Conan. But first, we've got all the day's top stories in our gaming update.
Video game magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly has decided not to publish their review of Metal Gear Solid 4. According to the magazine, the editors of EGM and OneUp.com are holding back on their review until next month's issue due to limitations that Konami wanted to impose on their comments. The game's lengthy cutscenes and hefty install size are rumored to be a few of the details Konami would like to keep under wraps. To date, X-Play has not obtained a final review copy of the game, making it nearly impossible to confirm or determine what Konami would prefer to limit. X-Play did attempt to reach Konami for comment, but we did not receive a response in time for today's show. And finally, Age of Conan Hyborian Adventures has managed to outsell GTA 4 overseas. Website NextGen.biz has obtained new sales chart data that confirms the MMO is outselling every other game in both Germany and Sweden. Age of Conan is considered by many to be the most successful MMO launch since World of Warcraft. That's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, be sure to check out our website, g4tv.com/xplay. But now let's go over to Adam for a game that might make you break things.
Thanks, Morgan. There are games that are difficult. There are games that make you so upset that you break things. And then there are games that make you question life and wonder who's the sick, sadistic bastard who designed them. Ninja Gaiden 2 is definitely in this last group. Here's a preview showing up some of the weapons you'll need in this struggle. Ninja Gaiden 2 is almost ready to slice and dice its way onto your Xbox 360s. And we have a look at Ryo's shiny new weapon collection. First up, our favorite addition is the Scythe. Yes, you can do your best Grim Reaper impression as you carve up the competition with unrelenting fury. It moves a bit faster than you think it would, but it's still not quick enough for speedy bad guys. Instead, you should use it to do unbelievably gory crowd control on multiple enemies. Also new to Ninja Gaiden 2 are tonfas. These are a pair of weapons that look like police batons. Perfect for one-on-one baddie bludgeoning. Because of their easy whack ability, these are best used against guys you can juggle or hit off the ground. Another exciting way to eviscerate your enemy is with your very own pair of Falcon's talons. They're sort of like Wolverine's claws, except, well, now that we think about it, they're pretty much exactly like Wolverine's claws. Take our word for it, they're a lot of fun. But be warned, the Falcon's talons are very short range. You better know what you're doing with them or you'll get murdered quickly. Basically, if you can get through the entire game using only these, then you are the true Ninja Gaiden master. Ninja Gaiden 2 hits store shelves June 3rd. Be sure to tune in to X-Play later this week for a full review of the game. In the run-up to E3, most of the major publishers have their own Gamers Day events, setting the hype train in motion early. Ubisoft just held their own showcase, and there's everything you can look forward to this year. Surprising no one but the Lighting Mini, Ubisoft's deranged bunnies are back in Rayman Raving Rabbids TV Party. This collection of screwball minigames makes use of the newly minted Wii Balance Board, ensuring that Wii peripheral junkies will be able to do more with their newest purchase than yoga poses. On three! Believe it or not, Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway is almost ready for release. Bravely carrying on the fight in the World War II setting, the further adventures of Sergeant Matt Baker have been augmented with destructible cover, new commands to issue your fire teams, don't stop firing! and an impressive weather system that will impact how battles play out.
Get moving, men.
In addition to a more strategic style of gameplay than most military shooters, this also may be the only World War II game out there with dismemberment. Fans of the numerous Tom Clancy series under Ubisoft's umbrella will want to keep an eye on Tom Clancy's End War, a massively multiplayer online real-time strategy game. Set in 2020 during a massive global conflict, the game combines a unique voice command system with streamlined strategy play for an experience very different from what we're used to seeing in console RTSs. Over 40 battlefields will be continually fought over online, and success or failure on your part will impact how well overall your chosen side is doing in End War's three-way conflict. Prince of Persia is getting a massive makeover in this new entry in the series that is totally unrelated to the Sands of Time continuity. The acrobatics and platforming that define the series will return, of course, but a new emphasis is being placed on one-on-one combat and a light versus dark dynamic. Apparently, it will take a page or two from Assassin's Creed's book as well, and the Prince's nubile friend there is rumored to revolutionize partner AI in gaming. Prince of Persia is currently expected to be released in late 2008. Finally, the most exciting news out of Ubi Days is undoubtedly the announcement of Beyond Good and Evil 2. The thrilling yet touching saga of Jade and her anthropomorphic pig, Uncle Paige, continuing. Well, some in the whole near future. For now, this teaser trailer featuring Paige in a shabby but familiar figure.
Barbarians live a lifestyle. Be sure to check GeForce.
Thanks, Kristen. Well, no one likes heat stroke, so play it safe and stay out of the sun this summer with GeForce Summer Schedule. Check out Season 2 of Code Monkeys, GeForce smash hit animated comedy of 8-bit proportions.
It's a show the New York Times hails as an arcade game with a potty mouth. Catch an all-new episode of Code Monkeys Season 2, Sunday night at 10, only on G4.
Check out g4tv.com/Code Monkeys for info and updates.
Coming up on X-Play, we get some FaceTime with Stephen Totillo to talk about the controversy surrounding video game reviews and find out what the game companies don't want you to know. Plus, your collection isn't complete until you see our list of the top 5 RPGs that you need to own. Then we'll review Mass Effect for the PC and tell you if this version is the best one yet. All this and more. Stay tuned. Yeah.
G4 X-Play.
There's some fifth.
Welcome back to X-Play. I can tell you firsthand that reviewing video games can be a dirty, seedy business. You would think it's as simple as X-Play gets sent the game you see in stores, we play through it, our monkeys review, and you complain about it on our website. Well, the reality is something altogether different. Last week, MTV's Stephen Totillo revealed that Konami, Metal Gear Solid 4's publisher, instructed critics not to mention certain aspects of the game during their reviews. Unhappy with these limitations, magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly has chosen not to do a formal review. In other pieces published throughout the week, Totillo charged game companies with many other questionable practices, like allowing positive reviews to be published early and requesting that negative reviews be held until after the game's release. At this point, who can you trust? And joining us today to talk about his week-long coverage on game reviews, editor of MTV News' multiplayer blog, Stephen Totillo. Thanks so much for coming on, Stephen.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
All right, so let's talk about actually the big story right now, which is Konami, telling a lot of reviewers out there that they couldn't talk about everything that was in the game. Have you gotten a better sense of what it is that they're trying to withhold from these reviews and what their interest is in doing that?
Right. Yeah, I have. I mean, I've had people read me the agreement that Konami is having reviewers sign, or at least asking reviewers to sign. And, they lay out plot points. You don't talk about this character or that character. And that's standard. I've seen that before. I've been presented with those kinds of documents before. But they're also saying, don't talk about the length of the cutscenes or how many cutscenes there are. Don't talk about the mandatory installation on the PS3, how big that installation is. I mean, these are technical requirements, technical aspects of the game, which I would think would have some bearing on how a game might be reviewed, or at least what a reader of a review or viewer of a review might want to know, because it might affect whether or not they want to buy the game on day one or not.
I mean, 90-minute cutscenes, especially, given the fact that a lot of people don't have that much time, given it, during a day to actually play a game. I would have to say there's something quite audacious about Konami doing that. Is this a new standard? I mean, how does this fit into other NDAs that are given to reviewers out there?
Well, I mean, we have to remember that, a game company is entitled to ask for whatever it wants to ask for. I mean, no reviewer has to agree to any of these things. So this is, game companies don't owe anybody anything. Reviewers don't have to sign this. They could wait and they could buy a copy and they could, play that copy, and review it when the game comes out. The thing with this that seemed different to me, again, was that they were talking about technical issues related to the game. They're talking about, how big is the installation? Well, this is something that might affect whether or not I'm going to buy the game on day one, because I might not have enough room on my hard drive, or I might have to move things around. I mean, length of cutscenes, that seems to me to be a thing that might turn some people on, might turn some people off, but more importantly, you'd want your reviewer to be able to talk about the cutscenes, right? And you'd want them to be able to say, there's a new standard with these cutscenes, or there's not, or these cutscenes are more interesting, or it's interesting that the game has cutscenes of this length. And apparently Konami didn't feel like reviewers were capable of conveying whatever it is that's impressive or interesting about these cutscenes, or that readers of reviews would be able to interpret that and glean, a qualitative assessment on their own.
Now, EGM has decided not to do a proper review. It's more of a roundtable discussion that they put in their latest issue because of those limitations. Do you think that this is the correct direction that we in the press should be going in when we're presented with these, very large limitations on what we can talk about?
Well, I think if that's what your readership or your audience demands, right? Because, again, companies don't owe anybody anything. Reviewers don't have to say yes. So ultimately, you have these two opposing forces that ideally will work in concert to tell you something new about a game. But really, who are they going to listen to? They're not going to listen to each other because they might have different viewpoints. They're going to listen to their audience. And I think EGM clearly thinks that their readers would demand full disclosure about everything. And so I commend them for doing that.
And really quickly, obviously, you looked at the entire state of the gaming press and reviews. Do you think it's healthy, or do you think it's in a little bit of trouble right now?
I think it's in a state of flux, because I think that we're coming to these moments now with these big budget games where, publishers really want to make sure the reviews are as good as possible and as early as possible to help also compel retailers to reorder games and what have you. And you have reviewers, I think, feeling more of the pressure. And again, it's up to gamers out there to demand the transparency from their outlets so that the outlets can then turn around and say to the publishers, hey, look, Konami, we're not going to be able to not mention this, or we're not going to be able to not mention that, because our readers expect us to mention everything about a game when we review it. It should all be fair ground.
No, and you're right. Stephen, thank you so much for coming by. For more on Stephen's coverage, go to multiplayerblog.mtv.com and stay right there. X-Play will return right after this.
The all-new season of Code Monkeys continues.
Give me the best boob job $200 can buy.
Yeah. All new episodes Sunday night at 10, only on G4.
How does...
A new era in gaming is dawning. Big Three will collide at E3 in the battle for next-gen supremacy. Who will shape the future? G4 presents E3 08 Live. Which gaming Goliath will push game design to new limits? What hot new titles will shock and awe you? Only G4 is there live to find out. E3 08 Live. Week-long coverage starts July 14th, only on G4. Stay out of the sun with G4 all summer long.
Welcome back.
Mass Effect is certainly a role-playing game worth a little bit of your hard-earned cash, but it's not the only good RPG on the market. It's just the latest in a series of role-playing games that are must-haves for any collection. If you consider yourself a fan of the genre, these are the 5 games that you have to own. Kicking off our list of the top 5 must-own RPGs is Chrono Trigger. This 1995 Super Nintendo classic turned the conventions of the genre on their heads, as it provided gamers plot twists worthy of David Fincher. It was also one of the first games to strip out random battles. All we could say was, hallelujah. It may have a strange name, but Suikoden 2 is more than just a novelty. The 1999 PS1 title takes the 4th spot on the list for 2 reasons. First, it's an enjoyably old-school romp that takes the basics of the genre and refines them elegantly. Secondly, as you proceed through the game, you collect characters named the Stars of Destiny, adding a nice Pokemon-style side quest to the proceedings. At number 3, BioWare's contemporary classic Mass Effect came out just last year, but it's already earned a spot as one of the top RPGs of all time. Chief among its attributes are the engrossing adult storyline, a refined combat system that fits like a glove, and the ability to piss off Fox News.
That's a whole new spin for on the floor and give me 20, huh?
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion takes the 2nd best spot on our list. The game takes the concept of open worlds to an astonishing new level, adding the additional content found in the Shivering Isles expansion pack, and you're looking at a game that will last you a very, very, very long playthrough. And at number 1 on our list of the top 5 must-own RPGs, what else could it be but Final Fantasy VI? True, the 1994 installment may not have the flashy graphics of Part 12 or the alarming popularity of Part 7, but this game delivered in the storyline department. And now that it's available on the GBA, you have no excuse for not picking up this must-own RPG.
Tomorrow on X-Play, we review Lego Indiana Jones, the game that covers the good Indiana Jones movies. Then, pro gamer T-Squared returns with some new Halo 3 tips that are guaranteed to up your kill count. Plus, we take a sneak peek at the latest bleep and blur-filled edition of Zero Punctuation. And later in the week, Playboy recently crowned Joe Garcia Cybergirl of the Year. And we're going to put that title to the test in a pulse-pounding video game showdown you don't want to miss. It all starts at 8.
Plus, we're going to cover the history of the Ninja Gaiden series.
Konami got themselves into trouble, huh?
Yeah, I mean, really, why? I mean, you really, if it's going to be part of the game, it's going to be out there. It just makes it look so much more suspicious when you're telling people not to talk about it.
You know, and they're going to do okay. Like, there's a lot of people who are going to buy this game. If everybody gave it a 0 out of, out of 100.
It's pretty review-proof.
People would still buy it. So I don't know what they're so worried about, but thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.